Okay, to Capitol Hill, where House Democrats just repeated calls to nationalize America's oil industry.
So if there's any seriousness about what some of our Republican colleagues are saying here in the House and elsewhere about improving the number of refineries, then maybe they'd be willing to have these refineries owned publicly, owned by the people of the United States, so that the people of the United States can determine how much of the product is refined and put out on the market. To me, that sounds like a very good idea.
And it sounds like a good idea to Obama supporter Malia Lazu. She likes it. She's with the nonprofit group Oil Change International. So you like this. Why?
Well, I think that, first of all, 80% of the oil in the world is owned by national oil companies because countries like Mexico and Norway understand that this is a part of their national stability and their national security. I think that the goal of corporations is to make as much money as possible for their shareholders. And this isn't shareholders' oil, this is our oil. And I think that if we're going to start talking about crazy policies like killing our environment, then let's talk about how
so you want the government to take over those refineries?
Absolutely,
well,
absolutely.
Chavez is doing that in Venezuela.
So and so is Mexico, and so is Norway. I mean, it's not
just nationalize
nationalize oil.
So then what if prices stay high or higher?
Well,
would you come back to the oil company and say, hey, we got it wrong. We thought you were thieving SOBs, and it turns out that the government can't do it any better or cheaper?
Well, I think that we won't find that. I think that what we'd find is that when Congress can set prices, they can set prices. When we can determine...
Congress can set prices?
When Congress can set prices, they can set prices, right?
So you want them to set prices at these refineries that they would control?
Yes, yes. I think that we need to have a nationalized oil structure. We need to look at how to do this differently. But Neil, you know, you and I always go back to this. We need to get off of our dependence on oil.
You know, you're right about that, actually. But we also should get off of this notion that it's your way or my way or the highway, that we can do all of the above. I think only what scares me about this is the government now is going to take over a private enterprise business because I guess we're to assume that the government would do a better job at it, and it has such a stellar track record.
Or maybe the government's taking it over because it should have never been private in the first place, and the government's going to make up for a mistake that it made,
Do you think the government has a good track record taking over anything?
I think that the government has a good track record of being as responsive as its people expect them to be. And this is something that we as citizens need relief on. And watching the oil conglomerates sit up there and talk about record-breaking profits when people are planning...
Do you see what you're doing here? That you're then telling the government, because you know, when you own a refinery, you own it lock, stock, and barrel, right? I mean, all of a sudden you're responsible for getting the oil, distributing the oil, transporting the oil, trading the oil. You're in knee-deep. Right?
That's right. That's right.
Should the government be knee-deep in markets that it says it does not want to interfere with?
The government needs to be knee-deep in markets that wholly affect citizens, and I think that that's something that
so you didn't espouse this when we were at $10 oil. You're espousing it now when we're at 130,
well, I think we've
140.
we've always been espousing the need for us to find another way, and I think what's happened now is because of administration. I mean, we can point fingers to a lot of different people. We're now out of control, and we're about to run out of oil. So now what are we going to do? You know, and at the end of the day,
you're open to this national. What's next? You're going to get the medical companies. You're going to get. You're not going to do that for TV news network.
I would love to.
You would, wouldn't
That's
you?
You would love to do it.
Malia, thank you very much. Always good to see you in the flesh this time.
I know. It's great to finally meet you.
Thank you very, very much.
Take care.
All right,